Hey everyone, Hussein here and welcome to another episode of the New Place Guide series, where I will share my playthrough and the things that I will cover in UWO that Sagres and many things aren't as much as teached anymore unless you check them the Sailor's Guide. And well, most of you probably know that by now. So the last episode we have been working on getting first parts. I introduced those parts that you can use to improve your ship. We introduced also shipbuilding. It is another very important aspect of the game. It allows you to build a ship from a shipyard, so you can build your own ship. And additionally, you can this is all done in a custom shipbuilding, and you have also choice to improve your ship through modding. It's called, which we have done with our ship. Where we improved our sail stats primarily, and also some references and turn speed. Now turn speed was pretty unfortunate, however the sail stats we have great hit a massive success. And then I have come back into fusion, aka ship rebuild, where you can grade up your ship. However, I have already warned, and I will warn again, grading is very expensive, especially for newer players. So if you decide to grade, especially from a standard size ship, be warned that this can really be very frustrating. Like, it can really make your day really go downhill, because my luck wasn't the best with grading. Fortunately, we have at least grade 1 on our ship at the cost that we almost broke again. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do an introduction on Academy Associate, which is something I wanted to do actually in the previous episode. However, the video was getting too long, so and we also managed to purchase the quarters. I also instructed how you can manage your quarters and how helpful it can be. We also added some powerful sail mast for our ship, and most importantly, we have used some challenge mission rewards, where some of them contains special shipbuilding improvement permits. This is something you need when you want to improve your ship. New players have access to the limited amount of those, and they are also untradeable, so make sure to use them wisely, because usually they are cash items. Fortunately, when you do daily chests like these plain chests, normal, splendid, or especially sparkling, you have a chance to get those SSIPs as well from them. But make sure to save them and use them wisely for improving ships, and make sure to choose a ship that you're gonna go for a long while, which I definitely will with the Songbook. I don't intend to switch to another ship anytime soon. Okay, so we're gonna change our job to fishing. There we go. Nice, you have a research building for... Oh, you receive only 500 credits. So, job research is essentially this is very similar to Oxford, where you do some thesis again. However, unlike Oxford, where you can do thesis regardless what you're doing, with Academy Associate you can only do the research when you are in a specific job. So a specific occupation, because if you have, let's say for fisher, you have a fish job currently, and here we get required to do some field activities, but we have to do this while we are within a fishing job. If we switch our job, for instance, it means that this we won't get any progress here anymore. So make sure to do these theses while you actually are in the right job. And the rewards of those is similar like Oxford skills, which you'll see here soon enough once we have done that. But we're gonna do research. We're gonna do this research, and keep in mind, if you do Academy Associate, you cannot do any Oxford research. So you cannot both do them both simultaneously. So keep that in mind. And you can report this thesis to Franklin, however you can also report it to any mediator in any guilds or at the square town, so that's also an option as well. You can take those theses also from those mediators. So we're gonna go to Caribbean. So we're gonna get some trade goods here as well from the Ghost Division Company Colony. Oh, Justin is here as well. Oh yeah, we can go to the printer to claim our dailies. And we should not forget the bazaar. Oh no, it is the 8 bazaar, we need the normal bazaar. I have, by the way, those from Bulldogs Church here, and I was searching for normal ropes to make my own FS parts. Sometimes being raccoon has its benefits. Now let's see what we get out of this. A mediation permit, always welcome. And a quest investment book. Purchase order category 3. Discharge petition. Now we go to Havana next. Oh yeah, by the way, unlike with procurement and collection, with fishing, the amount of quantity fish you catch will increase the proficiency for fishing skill as well. So in case you, that's actually why I want to get field activity as soon as possible, so I can get those benefits. Grabbing some thick water. Now, getting more trinkets from Jamaica. Nice, nice. Time to head back to Europe. To Amsterdam to sell our goods and then check our quotas. And I think it's maybe a good time to graduate for merchant and maritime as well. Let's head back. We're almost home. It's, I have to say, in less than 30 days, it's actually pretty impressive from Jamaica. I guess 25, 26 day. I think the excluded cargo it may be a little bit faster. There's NPC rescue, but I'm probably gonna skip it because not wanting to risk to lose my trade goods that I'm holding now. So let's change our job first, so we can get the maximum profit. Okay, Wi-Fi health is pretty superior. Okay, Antwerp is still better. No, it's Helder. Yeah, Helder scores better. Helder scores better. Okay, I think the winner is Helder. Let's get our figure recovered first. I'm gonna get one lumber if the company shop sells it. Ah, wait, never mind. Oh, you're gonna get that from Oslo then instead. Too expensive. Ooh, nice. Hanseatic leak seal. A renegotiation demand that we've received from the printer. When haggle becomes no longer possible, and you can use this item to read annual negotiation, which is very helpful. Nice, 1.5 million added. And we have crashed the market, by the way. Another thing to keep in mind, if you sell a high profitable good, there is a chance you can crash one of the trade good type market that you are selling. It is kind of a good thing to bring it up. The market rates, the rates that you see here, the arrow shows what the rate has recently happened. Where the green arrow is a sign that the rate hasn't changed after the last cycle passed, aka the last fluctuation we call it. And the arrow is a little downwards, shows the prices has gone down after the last fluctuation. Market rate usually changes every hour on each port. However, depending on how often players are active in the market, this can be shorter than 1 hour. Keep that in mind. And for the basics, you have a market that the trade is called protected and unprotected. Now, I was selling at held where the market was unprotected. If a market is unprotected, it means that when you sell something at high profit, if the trade good type that you are selling at the port doesn't have any trade good types sold here, like if I were to sell a high profit foodstuff or seasoning or livestock, for instance, there's no risk that it will crash at that moment, but the fluctuation can change it to more drastically. The market rates, like instead every each hour, it can be every each half an hour or shorter, or maybe somewhat longer. And we have crashed the market with luxury. Now, when do you know when the market is unprotected? The market is unprotected the moment when you talk to the market keeper, when it says welcome. When it says welcome, it means that it's unprotected. So whatever you sell, you have the risk of crashing it. What players usually do is, no, it is right now not that important for us yet. However, when we do advanced trading like spice trading or Namban trading, for instance, protecting the market becomes very important. So we have crashed market luxury goods, so we have protected the market from crashing again from other types of goods. So for those who Namban, they can actually benefit that they can sell, for instance, celery, a high quality crash trade good without the risk of crashing the market, because I crashed a with luxury good. So you may ask, how long does this crashing aka protection last? At least for 4 hours as far as I know. However, it could be short as 3 hours. Each hour the price of the crashed trade good is getting tried to be recovered, or there is a good trade good that is high in demand, where either the market keeper would say it's flooded with for instance luxury good, or it can say also other type of good. Now it's a good time to sell this type of trade good, which indicates that that type of trade goods has a very high rate that you can sell for. So pay attention when you talk to the market keeper to see if it is protected or unprotected. It's not important right now, but for later when you advance in trading, it becomes more crucial. And the rates here will change every hour and so, but where the ports are more active with players selling or purchasing goods, the fluctuation can be less than an hour. And since we have made 1 million, we can now store 1 million in the bank. wait, I can report a quest in London. I cannot really see the difference. It feels much faster with the ship. Like usually it will take up to 3 days or even more to arrive to London, but it's not even 2 days now. Now we may as well check what quest we can take. Yeah, we're gonna take this quest. We're gonna check the company shop if we can exhibit 2 items we have received from the company colony. Navy dispatch request and discharge petition. I don't know how much they go for, but we may as well sell those. Take those out and we can check the market price for discharge petition. I see, so about 3 million. And Navy. Okay, not this much. I have no use for those, so I have to get rid of them somehow. Or wait. It may be a good time to use the merchant chat actually. You could actually do that. So let's put these away first. I think it may be a good time to bring it up. bad. Well, we tried. We're gonna go to Sagres and we're gonna graduate from merchant and from both merchant and maritime at advanced. So we are done with school. I'm gonna switch job first. Amsterdam. We love geographics. Gotta see if we can get some nice geo maps. For merchant soon. Now we go to Bergen first because there are some maps that we can use to unlock. Oh yeah, I cannot do the job pieces. Just forgot about it. I actually think I'm gonna skip this for now because it is very slow progressing and we have to do Oxford at some point. For advanced activities, it actually means catching fish, high level fishes, and that's pretty unlikely to happen at that point, so I think we're gonna do this thesis for later. Gonna pick a different one soon. Okay, the treasure map is at least pretty close. Oh, nice. Hanseatic leak seal. We take it. And the discovery is not too far away. So we have set 8 on the storekeeper. The higher the traced 8 have, the faster it can deal the disaster. Also keep in mind, if you have no supply, many 8 skills aside from the support skill, many 8 skills and the disaster they usually can deal will be nullified if you don't have food and water with you. Just to be aware of that. So from here we go to Amsterdam, and then we go to Seville. Oh, we have a memorial album completed. Oh, we do. That means heading to Amsterdam has been more convenient. Oh, there is another aide actually, Rona. A great adventure aide that it's definitely gonna be a second aide he can hire. He's asking us to look for a cargo. Wait, no. Rona-chan, it's all yours. So many Hanseatic league seals should be plenty. Oh wait, let's purchase something from the market keeper as well. Oh yes, let's see if we have carpentry tools. Sweet, we need one. Redesign plan. This will add considerable amount of progress. By doing so we can maybe finish the quarter in a few days. That's a great discount. Let's stock the scholar to get an Oxford thesis. Okay, there are not many. I was looking actually for a Rona quest specific, however, it doesn't show up. Yeah, let's do this one. Giving both the trade and battle fame as well, and we need both of those fame too. Alright, well, we're gonna set sail to Seville or Sagres, depending on the outcome I'm gonna show you how to use the merchant chat, or aka the marketplace of the world chat. What is this? This is a chat where many where aside from the general chat, it is also one of the most crowded chat out there. Here per players, you can put your items for sale, or you can tell what you are buying for. There are three main terms that players use in merchant chat, aka the marketplace. VTB, WTS. Wait, let me actually. These three terms are commonly used in the marketplace, and I'm pretty sure you have seen this probably in all the online games too, depending which terms they are using. On RuneScape this was pretty different, but in case for those who don't know, VTS means want to sell, meaning that you are selling something, while WTB is want to buy, that you are looking to buy something, and WTT means want to trade, basically exchanging your items or ship for another item or such that you're looking for. Now we want to sell, for instance, these discharge petition. We have checked in the company shop, they go for minimum 3 mil, but I'm gonna try to sell them for 2 mil each and see if we can first find someone that wants to purchase them. So what we're gonna do is, I want to sell discharge petition. So that's what we describe, and 2 million each, 2 million ducats each. 10 mil for all to make our selling more appealing. For instance, you have your own ways. I do it like this. Just my motto is to sell my items as soon as I can, because especially if they take inventory space, which is what I'm basically doing here. And PM me, but it means private message me. So now we have put it in the merchant chat. Depending what you're selling, or depending what you're buying, or what you're looking for, it can take a while, but it can also go very fast. And depending what happens, you may get a private message from another player that may have the item that you are looking for, or that they are looking to purchase your item. And usually many of the trades between players are done here in Seville. At least in the Maris server. In some servers this is more done in Lisbon, so it really depends which server you are, so make sure to check where most players are gathering for when it comes to selling items, ships or equipment, etc. Now you see here another person selling some item, and instead of price given ducats, it says CT, and CT stands for captain ticket. It is also a currency they use as an easy way to trade. Captain tickets are very highly valuable. Like they are cash items you can purchase from the shop, and well, I wouldn't worry too much, bother too much about it, because it's a lot of money that they are talking. That's what I'm saying, that the few millions we have gained, it means almost nothing as you progress through the game, and you will notice we start to make more money as we go through it. And you can just repeat your message in the marketplace. Make sure not to spam too much. Like do it like once in 5 minutes to 10 minutes, for instance. Because I'm pretty sure, depending on the server, some place will catch your message, and whenever they're interested, you will get a private message eventually. We at Sagres, it's been a while. You see a message about if Seville is currently going, and that is happening right now. So we're gonna see how much profit we make. Not so bad. Ah, okay, so they didn't change this yet. Now Ragusa is pretty far away, so and we are also with a time limit, 120 days. Well, that's doable with the current ship we have, but we need sewings. Sewings that can be purchased at the item shop in any capital. Okay, we are in Seville at the center of the market. You can also sell your items also through shouting in Seville, especially where many players are around here, or in Lisbon, or depending which server you are. You can maybe make the message reach out to the entire area by using a shout like this, and then after that you can type whatever you like. So I'll say I want to sell 6 of my discharge petition, and then since we put in shout, the shout message will appear purple for our message, and then you can see this message will reach to the entire players in this area, so they know then what I'm selling. And you can see bazaars everywhere here. So for those who are in the mass server, you can do all the trading with other players here. Page out award, no. I gotta see if vote is being sold in the company shop. And if we have to go to Yakuza, we might as well then Wait, let me see if I have corrected. Let's see, search all, you want road? Nope, unfortunately. No one is selling it, so we have to go to Ragusa, and while we're gonna do that, we might as well take a maritime in my graduation quest. So we gotta get some maritime skills, so I go for mercenary. Oh wait, let me get merchant first. So we can get gunnery. And we're gonna get rid of one of the skill that we don't need right now. Yeah, I don't need lookout right now, but later we need it. And I want to get accuracy as well. Accuracy is something I'm gonna show how it works, because it's one of the most important skill for maritimers aside from gunnery. Okay, 2 sewing sets here. Yes, we take it. Alright, I'm gonna now take the maritime graduation quest. Might as well do it simultaneously. Alright, let's see if we can take the maritime advanced course as well. 2 for the price of 1. I forgot you don't need to pay cultural contribution here. Aha, here we go. Okay, these quests still didn't change, they are all in the same location. Let's see, I want to have another carronade. Well, I don't see a better one. So we're gonna equip both of these. Now we have our max chamber. Always make sure you check the amount of chamber it takes and the amount you have with you. It is super important. need those. Alright, so it is time for us to talk about the type of shots that we have cannons, because before we do that, I have shown you about the basics, what the piercing power is, which represents the raw damage that your cannonballs hit. The more chambers the gun type has, the more piercing power it will have, so the more raw damage change. The range represents the cannon fire range, and the projectile speed is how fast cannonballs go towards the enemy you shoot at. The faster it goes, the less likely it will miss, so it represents the accuracy of the cannonballs. Burst range is basically when a splash damage takes place upon hitting the enemy, giving an additional damage upon hit, and loading speed is essentially just how fast it takes for your cannons to load. So we're gonna get back to that again, and now let's talk about the type of shots. And I'm gonna freeze the game for a while, because the type of shots is very complicated to explain. So let's talk about the shot types, ladies and gentlemen. In Uncharted Waters Online, there are a variety of cannons, which some of you have probably seen many of those. And each of those cannons has its own shot type associated with it, which determines what kind of cannonball you're firing at the enemy during maritime. And I won't explain in this part of the video the shot types that exist in Uncharted Waters Online, because it is pretty important to know what the properties are for each shot type, what the benefits can be, what are the drawbacks, so you can figure out which shot type is the best for you, or in what situation they are best used for, which I will also add the information on. Keep in mind that things can always change in the future in Uncharted Waters Online, where some parts of my explanation here could be outdated, which I will make sure to put notes under the description of the video. So let's talk about each shot types that are currently known in this game. Let's start with normal shot. It is the most common shot type that you'll encounter in Uncharted Waters Online, especially against NPCs you battle in maritime, because normal shot has the most variety of cannons available in the game, that you cannot actually find a middle ground of the average stats that the normal shot has, because you can have a high piercing power from a normal shot cannon such as carronade, or you can have a long range cannon fire like a high PE, culverin, etc. And you can also have the fastest loading cannon such as rapid fire. So there is a lot of variety of it, and because of that, normal shot in itself has quite some appeal for both PvP as well as PvA. Just a side note that most shot types that I'm talking here can cause shell damage, leak, and disorder at the set of chance against the opponent, with some certain factors that can increase this chance when firing at the enemy. And the carronade and high PV are the most popular cannon, being both used in PvP and PvA. And rapid fire is mostly also used to grind cannon skills very fast due its fast loading speed, which is very ideal. And there are some shift skills for each shot type that can amplify its benefit. For normal shot at least, that is the heavy bombing, which I have mentioned a few episodes ago, how much heavy bombing can help during PvP, like when it comes to piracy versus traders or bounty hunter versus pirates, especially if you want to escape or to make distance from the enemy, preventing them to engage you in melee battle. But it can be also helpful in team battles as well. So because of that, normal shot types has one of the most versatile options that you can have in game, which you can't go wrong with it. Next we have double shot, which as the name suggests is a shot type where when firing the cannon, 2 cannonballs will be fired simultaneously out of it, which results in a very high cannon fire damage. Hence the double shot is known for having the highest piercing power throughout the game. However, in exchange it has also the slowest loading speed as well as one of the shortest firing range, so you essentially deal a lot of damage, especially when you're close to an enemy ship. It has additionally extra properties compared to the normal shot, that it has an increased chance to cause damage on enemy ship parts, especially in PvP, and the chances of casting leaker on enemy ship is also somewhat increased. And it has a ship skill associated with it that allows to cast flooding on the enemy ship. I'm not sure if this is now a passive skill, because I remember back then it was an active skill. So I'm not sure if that has changed over the years. And it is actually mostly used in PvP as well as Ganondorf for its high damage output, especially in Ganondorf. Like, you have many NPC ships that you will encounter there, and double shot allows you to sink them pretty quickly if you have the right cannon skills for it. And in PvP it is pretty popular, because if enemy drops their guard in the close range, you can instantly sink them if they have no proper defensive skills being used against it. So double shot has its place, however it's not the best ideal to kind of cannon skill because of its low loading speed, just to keep that in mind. Chain shot is the next we are going to talk, which is one of the rare shot type that you will encounter from NPCs as well as PvP, because there are only 2 kind of cannons available associated with the shot type as far as I'm recording this video. One of the reasons is that it has a mediocre piercing power in general, at least the normal kind of cannons out of this, unless you are using a hyper version or a grand version or possible cash cannon. It is not the best damage output this kind of shot type provides. However, it has a very decent loading speed as well as a good firing range. It has increased chance to harm enemy ship parts as well as a very high chance to cause sail damage, which it can be very annoying, especially if you face NPCs that use this shot type, because your sails are going to suffer greatly. It reminds me of Sea of Thieves, how much my sailmasts were destroyed by chain shot users. Ouch. However, just because it deals mediocre piercing power damage does not mean it's the end, because there is an aide skill that drastically increases the cannon fire damage of chain shots, which essentially allows you to deal more damage from that aide skill than you get from penetration skill, which says a lot about it, and that makes them still pretty appealing in PvP. However, it does take an extra skill slot because of that, and that makes chain shots pretty difficult to be used in both PvP and PvA. However, it's also a very unique playstyle you can play as a maritimer. Wait, why do I smell fire? Oh, of course, the next is Incendiary shot, aka fire shot. Incendiary shot is a fire shot that gives a set of chance to put the enemy ship on fire when you fire those type of shots against them, which causes durability damage over time. And what it also does is it deals also extra bonus damage depending on the munition that the enemy has. Keep in mind that this bonus damage addition from broadside as well as critical shot does not contribute to additional maximum durability drop from it. However, when it casts on a critical shot, critical shots from fire shots are very deadly. Because of that, it is a pretty popular choice in PvP. However, as also a popular choice in PvA, because the cannons for incendiary shot has one of the most balanced stats out there. A high piercing power with decent reload speed, as well as a good firing range. And depending on the additional skill you use, like an aide skill, you can cause enemy water supply to be exhausted. And there is a ship skill associated with fire shop, the one that I know as far as armor deterioration bullet, which is actually not so popular. However, it can be handy for long-term battle to drop enemies armor because of that. And it also causes the fire shot to turn blue during the firing animation, which is very cool to see. You have to keep in mind that they do not cause disorder and leaking, so that's the only drawback there is for the shot types. Regardless, it is a shot type that I do recommend to give it a try. Let's talk the incendiary shot type's cousin, smoke shell, because they do share very similar cannon stats, except that the smoke shell has a higher cannon fire range in exchange for a slightly lower piercing power in general. Smoke shells causes enemy ship to go under smoke at a set of chance, and under that state they have a lower accuracy rate when firing their cannons, making them miss more likely and therefore dealing less damage on both broadside and critical shot. And it can also disrupt enemies' cannon loading when they receive a critical shot, and because of that it is quite popular as well in PvP and PvA. But in PvP it is especially popular because there is a ship skill associated with smoke shell, which is the special smoke bomb ship skill, which has a set chance to disable enemies' active skill they use, and it is a guaranteed chance on critical shot, which makes enemy have to reactivate those skill, and an easy way to disorient their gameplay, allowing you to find easy opening against them. And that makes this type of shot pretty deadly in PvP. Unfortunately, much like incendiary shot, it cannot cause leak or disorder in sea battle. However, in overall you can have a lot of fun with this shot type. Moving on to grape shots, and this is a pretty unique shot type, which is not focused on damaging enemies' durability of their ship, rather focus on harming enemy crew, much like it was used in the history in the Age of Discovery. What makes this pretty unique is not only does it give an increased rate on harming enemies' crew, you can also drop the figure of enemy for dealing critical shot with a grape shot. However, with aide skill you can actually cast this already on a broadside, which can be very annoying when you are the one on the receiving end of this. The higher the piercing power of your cannons of grape shot, the greater crew damage you will deal. Especially in PvA this can be very good. This is increased on the crew harm when they have high crew members, as well as a lower durability percentage of their maximum durability of the ship. So when you face an opponent that has grape shot, be sure to keep your durability close to its maximum to prevent devastating crew damage on yourself. However, because of its low piercing power, it is not as popular in PvP and PvA, so it is quite rare to see a player using it. However, it can be a lot of fun if it is used the right way. And I forgot to mention, there are some skills associated with this shot type. An aide skill and that I've mentioned, and a ship skill that can cause great disorder to an enemy ship which takes several leadership skill to move it, which can give you a great opportunity to strike them in melee battle. One important note to add regarding this shot type is the crew damage that you receive from this shot type can be recovered through surgery. Much like chain shot, grape shots are one of the rarest shot type being used by both players and NPCs. Therefore, you do not have to worry too much on encountering this. However, if you do, be sure to take precaution and not to underestimate it despite its low piercing power. The next two shot types that we will be talking about are pretty new in the game, like they were only released for a few years. And I was not active at the time, so I am not familiar with these two shot types of the game, but I do my best to cover as much as I know about them. Starting off with armor-piercing explosive shells. These are cannons that actually both of them are howitzers, which you can both craft through burst production, which is the only way as far as I know. However, they may be alternatives as we may get more updates to the game, who knows. And more cannon types could be added in the future, which I will make sure to inform under the description. So armor explosive shell, what they have in unique is that they have a special effect that no other cannon shot types have that we know of from the past. So the piercing power, loading and medium range are quite niche, like not the best, and they do deal actually more crew damage than an average shot type that we know of. However, the ability lies in a special effect that it can cause on either broadside and on critical shot especially. For the armor piercing explosive shell, it can cause an internal explosion on the enemy ship, which deals explosion damage over time. Which can be pretty devastating, as it allows a combo trigger even though you're the only one shooting against it. The explosive count as a cannon hit, so if you shoot your own cannon fire against them, they can get the combo damage out of it. This is more deadly if they receive a critical shot, like if they have a low durability left after the crit, they can only die from the follow-up damage over time. There's an aide skill that increases enemies loading skill, and for these two newer shot types, they are both affected by the tonic skill. The higher the tonic skill, the greater the special effect becomes of these shot types, and that makes the tonic skill quite unique, because not only you can summon fire ship out of it, but it also amplifies the internal explosion of this shot type. However, this shot type, as far as I'm aware of, is the less popular one, and regardless, it is still handy for a certain situation to be used on. It's a good shot type to give it a shot for yourself. But you can have your own unique playstyle and probably combine with other explosive shell cannon, which I do see some players using it to make the combo even more deadly. And speaking of the other explosive shell, let's move on Fracture Explosive Shell. Fracturing Explosive Shell is the last shot type that we will be talking about in this section of shot types. Much like Armor Piercing Explosive Shell, this one relies also on the tonic skill to amplify its special effects. The stats are similar to Armor Piercing Explosive Shell, so the stats are not strong for regular cannon fires. However, the moment it triggers a special effect, this one causes Explosive Wave. Explosive Wave does not cause damage over time, however it instantly makes your ship explode from the Fracture Explosive Shell. And not only that, but it also affects the ally ships nearby you being hit by it too. And what makes it even more devastating is that there is a chance to cause Raging Fire or Flood, or even Great Disorder, unless that's the last one I have wrong memories about. I will apologize for that. And there is an aide skill that also decreases the enemy ship speed when they get hit by explosive aid, making this even more deadly. And I can see why many players prefer this shot type over the other shot type. And overall, I highly recommend to give these two explosive shell shot types that have been released recently a try, because they can be very fun to be used alongside the tonic skills. And the tonic skill on its own is already fun when you summon the fire ship. It will take a while for myself to access on those recipe, at least on TT. I hope this section regarding the shot types helps most of you out, especially the new players. My explanation is not always the best, though I do my best to make sure you understand the basics at least of these shot types, and I hope this will give you a better understanding regarding the naval system of maritime. And let's get back to the main playthrough. So those are all the basics and type of shots that I wanted to explain. It's pretty complicated. One thing to note, by the way, is you can actually have, for instance, incendiary shot and carronade together. For instance, you have two different types of shots can be used together. However, keep in mind that by doing so, the effectiveness of the incendiary shot or the normal shot may decrease, because it's less likely to cast, for instance, disorder with the normal shot, and less likely to cast fire with the incendiary shot, because you have only one of them being equipped. Another big thing to note is when you are in a sea battle, you will see a variety of different cannon fire range circle appearing. For instance, these two have a different cannon fire range. The Vulcan has a longer range than the carronade, so the further the great expanded circle represents then the Vulcan that you will be aiming, and the shorter one is then the carronade, and you have to keep in mind that if the enemy is at only the furthest circle, which is the Vulcan, only the Vulcan will be fired instead of the carronade. So it means that you will use your cannons not so efficiently. Now, luckily, the loading speeds are both of them the same, so they both have the same reload time. Here's also a tale of all the reload speed of the guns, depending on the reloading speed and how much gunnery and loading speed the reloading skill influences this. It's very important when you take different cannons for your chambers, make sure at least that they have the same loading speed. That is the most important one, because if, let's say, I use a different gun that has a lower loading speed than the Vulcan, what happens is that both will fire, but the other gun takes longer to reload than Vulcan. By the time the Vulcan will be fully loaded, but the other one is reloading, and when you start to fire the Vulcan, that one is gonna reload while the other cannon is then fully charged, which also results into an inefficient way of naval battles, which you rather want to avoid. Keep that in mind. Without further ado, let's. I prefer to use normal shots together, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, while we are in Sagres, we might as well get some trade goods here. Apparently you get skill proficiency exclusively in Sagres, so I really wonder if this applies for every skill. If this is true, then I would say it can help the grind slightly here. Actually, wait, can we... Maybe we can get the stern castle? No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to show up here. We're gonna use this one. I'm gonna replace and we're gonna equip the twisted sword. Oh, actually, wait. We might as well just equip our boom, because I want to show you. So this is another special equipment, stand castles, and here it shows melee battle support. Each melee battle support essentially increases your attack power melee by +5, the base value. And this can be pretty helpful if you want to wipe out the enemy's crew faster, especially against NPCs where the melee battle is much stronger than usual. May go to southeast of Syracuse. Well, after we have done the maritime graduation, we can do the merchant graduation simultaneously. So we gonna bring 2 for the price of 1. Nice, frugality went to rank up 3. As the frugality rank increases, our supply consumption curbs even further, which is very nice. Okay, we are almost arriving at a destination southeast of Syracuse, where we will be met with some graduation fleet that we have to deal with. That's what I'm talking about. The circle, the huge circle is the demi-culverin, and the smaller one is the carronade that I have. So if I'm gonna fire now, for instance, only one of the cannon chamber is gonna be used, and as you can see, it doesn't do anything. Now, as you can see, I don't deal still much damage. And now we're gonna use accuracy, and behold the differences. As you can see, at accuracy, you can fire them at a closer range. And because of accuracy, more cannonballs will hit the enemy, allowing us to deal more damage due to that. Time for the crit. Now let's see how strong it is in melee. Yeah, this is somewhat stronger than ours. So we have to try to retreat. And it doesn't go as easy. We have made a mistake. Oh, it uses also loaded explosive. And we might get plundered. What did we have? Oh, we still get something. Only water. Okay, the damage isn't that severe. But what you see on the stand calls, my attack power went to 49, so it was much stronger than... So my attack power did somewhat increase, but still not enough to take care of the rest, I guess. We have to stop at Naples. I should probably notice my sailing speed has reduced because we have only one sailor, and it also means that we have below the minimum crew to use the ship. Nice, insurance covered. I'm gonna change job to a Bridgent because I do want the gunnery being grinded. And we definitely need some figure food. Now it's time to get revenge on those fleets. I'm gonna combine this with Vulcan, considering Vulcan deals more damage. So I'm gonna see how much Tristan's sword can help in melee. You can get it from the challenge mission, just so you know. It can help you out temporarily in melee with get some attack power. So with this I may have some more advantage because of that. Nice, second ship sunken, let's get the third one. As you can see, accuracy helps not only just with hitting more enemies with cannonballs to get more damage, but critical shots becomes more lethal as well, from what you can tell. Oh, battle level 10. Nice. Now we have to spend a few times around the sea. Hey, he's aiming him, I keep hitting them with the bow. And the critical shot becomes very lethal because of that. Try to aim them at the bow, because these ships are exposing the bow. It's a sign that they try to engage me in melee battle. Now luckily they don't use rowing skill, because chances will be more likely they will catch you in melee battle otherwise. Wow, those chests are starting to spawn a lot. How many days does it take? Important thing during a Seville, make sure not to use too many turns, because maintaining your speed in Seville is important. So you see me try to avoid to use many turns, so I can build up speed and momentum, and that way they won't be able to reach me melee as it is. Or will they now? Ooh, nice crit shot. One more time. Oh, there's only 2 of them. That is actually pretty convenient because we only need to take down one of them. Ooh, nice. Oh snap. That was close. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually very happy that I could show you how great accuracy is, because without even this skill I doubt I will be able to sink them, because the melee is apparently somewhat stronger than mine still. So when you do an advanced maritime graduate, at least have these skills. Ballistics and penetration will definitely help a lot. In case you are more melee focused, at least have either tactics, leadership and assault at least ready, so you can increase your melee stats as well as take down more enemy crew. So what the enemy also used against me before I was wiped out on melee is a loaded explosive. Deals a considerable amount of durability damage based on the munition I carried, which was 30 only. But imagine if they did it while I had 70 munition. That will be an insta-kill. Nice, we have our thesis finished. Yeah, 70 won't be enough. Luckily we can use purchase order category 2 to increase the quantity of our purchase. Yeah, I was thinking to use shortcut from Venice to Pisa, but you can't. You have a time limited quest ongoing. You stop at Tunis first, followed by Antwerp. Oh, nice. The amount of Oxford skills we can carry has increased. Now we're gonna use this for now. I'm gonna see if this also applies for reporting quests. If so, that would be awesome. "77 days left to go to Antwerp and report back Sagres. I bet we can make this in 40 days even. Let's see." this aide is actually all. This NPC is also an aide. Here we are at Antwerp. So those are 20 woad delivered, and now it's time to graduate. Okay, might as well sell this in Rotterdam. Alright, heading back to Sagres. Aha! We have received a private message from someone that wished to purchase our goods. That is what I mean. It takes a while, but it happens. They say DK. Another acronym, by the way. DK, it means an UWO doorkeeper. And they don't say which place, but in this server it is in Seville doorkeeper. Graduated from maritime advance. Aha, so the oxygen skill does give extra bonus. Jeez. So, while we have reported it, our maritime fame has drastically increased. We have gained 3 levels too. Total of 57. Ah, it feels so nice how fast we go with the subbook. I absolutely love it. Wait, we can turn off the merchant chat. Since we have found a buyer. And there's the person that we have to be. And you exchange play by what I've mentioned in the previous episode, by pressing change. The person wants this discharge petition that I'm selling. I sell 6 of those. And then the other person is gonna make an offer. 10 million ducats is the cost. Oh! That's generous of the player. Actually, this one is very helpful for the guidance for later. So the player gave me a non-pervious certificate. This is a very special topic we can bring up for much later in the episode. But for now, we're gonna save this for now. Oh yeah, do not make the mistake. Bank your money. Like seriously, dude. Gonna change into a merchant job. Because we can graduate from merchant as well, but I believe we have the maritime graduate. Once that happens, by the way, if you graduate, this title will disappear. Most likely. Because we have essentially then graduated all advanced courses. We are then a full-fledged voyager. Not the best here. Maybe better luck in Sagres. Back to Sagres and report our graduation advanced merchant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, wait, do we have inventory space? Yes, we do. Well, we're officially graduated from Sagres. Pamela's level 10. And we obtained another title, a merchant graduate title. Oh, hey, the student is still here. That is interesting. Normally this will disappear, at least in old school, whenever you graduate all the advanced courses, so I'm surprised to see it still here. And Pamela has gained a considerable amount of XP, and as you can see, more support skills are unlocked. But as you can see, there are many that I can't use. I do plan to get cooking and food stuff for one day, whenever I can. And the nice thing is she has storage skill, support skill, so let's say I set up Paymaster, storage +1. My storage skill is then now rank 3 now, +2/+1. That is another thing that makes aide supports very helpful, those support skills, so I highly recommend to have those. I highly recommend to pick an aide where you have the skills that they can support your skills for it. I have not picked the best one with support skills, as you can see, however I may eventually use them, and she has some one of the great aide skills that I personally like. especially Spanish in India. Spanish is pretty widely used in Iberia and in Caribbean and some parts of South America. Same for India. India we will end up visiting where we have no language problem later on. So we have received some boxes again. Title requirements are also shown. There we have no inventory space at all. That sucks. Ooh. Oh, this fine clothing sells very well. And rip. So yeah, I guess that was the Sagres. We have graduated entirely. Normally this was my initial plan to end the new place guide series way back. So that will be maybe only less than 20 episodes for this new play guide. And that would also make the work easier for me and maybe much easier for players, new players to see how everything works till the graduation. However, the issue is that players have generally no idea what to do after they graduate, and yeah, I already have done some activities that we usually do after graduating, like doing the Imperial contract, visiting the company colony, selling goods from outside Europe with local specialty combo. We did some shipwrecks, we did our Pyramid of Giza, and much more. And now I'm gonna cover more of those for upcoming episodes. I plan to go on until we have access to the entire world, and at least that as you can see on the table, this is what I have covered also so far, according to my plans that I've made, and I plan to make sure that at least most of them are covered, so that all of you players who just started the game have some understanding what you can do on everything. Of course, not everything isn't very detailed explained, because some of the topics in itself has its own complexity, and I do not wish to make our brain cells go under smoke. Anyways, this was the end of the episode. We have covered a lot again. Now another profit made with alcohol goods from the Caribbean with some and luxury together, and we talked about how to protect the market and how the market rate changes every hour unless some special circumstance happens. These are basics that are very important, especially if you advance in trading, like spice trading and Namban, as I mentioned before. And then we talked about some basics of maritime again. I brought back about the gun stats and the gun types, and that you can mix the guns, but to make sure that they have a similar reload speed, so you don't end up having an inefficient use of cannons. And we have introduced accuracy, which is one of the most important skills aside from gunnery for maritimers, because accuracy allows your cannonballs more likely to hit enemy. You can also hit enemies from closer range, and high accuracy, the more cannonballs will hit the enemy, and this can be very lethal, especially with critical shot. Like, we have dealt over 200 critical damage on those galleys you have seen. And there is a counter part for this one, and that is evasion. Evasion skill is something we're gonna talk about more later on, but all I can tell you is evasion makes enemies cannonball make more difficult to hit you. And while this may sound simple, when you're a maritimer, realize that this will be a very important skill in the future. And further, I just cannot help to be satisfied with the graduation sumbook. Like, we go between 9 to 10 knots maximum, or an average 8 knots because we usually have cargo load, but this speed is very satisfying. So it has been a very great run, and we graduate from trade and maritime as well for advanced. All advanced courses done, but again, we are not stopping yet for the series. We gotta keep going. And I explained also some acronyms in the game, especially for the merchant chat, how to use it and how to trade with other players. I managed to sell my discharge petition fortunately, which is very nice. And here's also the list of acronyms that are being used. I'll put the things under the notes so you can know what acronyms are commonly used in UWO and if there are any changes in the community culture. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all had enjoyed watching this series and that we have graduated from all courses in Sagres. Yippee! Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and see you in the next episode. Cheers!